My name's Alex, and I sing and play guitar for All Time Low.
What made you decide to be music?
I think initially it was watching the Blink-182 DVDs made me really want to be in a band, just because it looked so ridiculously awesome at the time, being that I was like in ninth grade and hated school. I was like, that's a good alternative. So I went with that, and luckily it worked out because I wasn't very good at school.
What's the songwriting process?
Songwriting for us is usually one of us will come up with an idea musically, and then as a band we will write the entire song as music, and then from there I'll take that and write lyrics and melodies to it, and then once we kind of have like a rough version of everything, we'll go back over the whole song and make sure everything fits and everything's in the right place, so it's like perfect.
Why'd you name the albums Put Up or Shut Up and So Wrong It's Right?
The EP was called Put Up or Shut Up because at the time we were in a position where it was going to be our first like national release, and we felt like because we had taken some fire in the past as for being a pop punk band, and at the time it was kind of going out of style, and so the name of that EP kind of reflected basically what we had to do. It was either we win or we're fucked. So yeah, it was just kind of an expression of that. And then the full length, So Wrong It's Right, Matt Squire, our producer on the record, his wife actually gave me the idea for that name. One day when we were all stressing about picking a name for it, she said, well, everything you guys say and do on stage and the way you act is a little bit fucked up, but people seem to like that about you guys, so that's where the name came from, and we went with it.
Alright, this is like, do you remember your first album purchase?
My first, yeah, I do. I bought the Backstreet Boys' Backstreet's Back.
Concert attended?
My first concert was the HF Festival, which is like a big radio festival that they would throw in Baltimore. And I think the first year I went, it was like Stained and Limp Bizkit were headlining. It's pretty rad.
Instrument purchased?
My first instrument purchase was an Ibanez guitar, a red Ibanez guitar, and I covered it with like Green Day stickers and stuff.
First band you opened for?
Man, the first show we ever played, it wasn't so much opening for people, but it was like a talent show at a high school, called Bryn Mawr. It was an all-girls school, and we thought it was rad because we didn't win though. We got like third, but whatever.
What was your first major tour?
Can't win them all. Our first major tour was right after we signed to Hopeless and graduated. We went out on the road that summer with Amber Pacific.
The New York City after party, was that the first time you DJ'd?
Yeah, it was. I guess at a club. I mean, I sit in my own house and DJ for myself. No, it was the first time I DJ'd, which is probably why it sucked so bad.
I'm not saying anything. Alright. How'd you guys get on Toyzilla?
We've been really good friends with Boys Like Girls for a long time now. We met them the first time we toured with Cute, and they were also on that tour as like 2 of 4 or something, 3 of 4. And ever since then we were really good friends. We did Warped Tour with them. We just maintained that relationship, so when it was their turn to headline, they asked us to come out, and we were stoked.
How does this tour compare to other tours you've been on?
This is probably the biggest club tour we've done so far. Boys Like Girls is blown up. They're doing really good, like really well for themselves, so it's been really awesome.
How do you guys decide what songs to play?
Usually it's kind of a mixture of playing what we think is the most popular stuff from the records, and just kind of, sometimes we'll just throw a new song in there and see how the crowd reacts to it, and if it's a really good reaction, we'll keep it in, and if it sucks, we'll know how to play it next time. So it's kind of a mixture of what we think, and then a little bit of hit or miss.
What happened to you at the New York City show?
Oh yeah, I hadn't eaten all day, and midway through the second song, I started like passing out. I got like really like weak and almost fell over, and so like by the time I got through that song, I had to walk off stage and like take a minute because I was wondering if I was gonna be able to like make it through the whole show safely, or if I was gonna like crash through the drum set at some point. Yeah, so that was kind of weird, interesting. That had never happened before. So yeah, I'll know to eat a meal before I play next time.
Do you enjoy being on the road?
Yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons we all do it. I love like the getting to meet new people and getting to see places that I would never have usually visited, I guess.
How are you able to stay healthy?
Vitamins, a lot of vitamins, and a lot of vitamin water and things like that. You, unfortunately, like, the sad truth is, on the road, your diet turns to shit. So as far as eating, I probably, every time we go on a long tour, I probably lose 5 or 10 pounds, which for me is really bad because I'm already like really super skinny. So yeah, vitamins is really like the way to go.
Alright, can you tell us what you're traveling in?
Yeah, right now we're on a big blue bus. It's awesome. It's comfy.
Is any parties on the bus?
Yeah, we've had a few. It's been fun. It's actually really interesting because like a bus is really just a long hallway, and trying to cram like 30 people into that space while everyone's like sweaty and partying is really unique. It's a unique experience.
Alright, future plans. Can you tell us about your headlining tour called Man, Whores, and Open Source? Why did you decide to name it that?
That's a good question. I don't know. Once again, I think because we like to just be gross and stupid. And obviously when you're in a band as good looking as us, we oftentimes are faced with the moral decision as to whether to have sex with, you know, so many beautiful women or not. And
Safe, right? Safe sex?
no,
No.
of course not. That's why it's the Man, Whores, and Open Source. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's just a gross name and we thought it might catch people's attention.
I think it did.
Yeah, I think so too. Jack has herpes, that's why we did it.
Hey! I wish.
How did you guys choose the bands opening up?
Well, Just Surrender, we've been really, really good friends with for a long time. They were out on the first tour, and we just hadn't really had an opportunity to tour with them again. And so we were like, you know, they're still in a good place to come out with us, and you know, it would be fun to hang with those guys again. Mayday Parade, we met on Warped Tour, and they're really good dudes, and their record has been blowing up, and kids love that band. So, you know, we wanted to make sure that, you know, people that are coming out are going to have a really sweet like tour package, not just, I don't know, us, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Every Avenue, the band that's opening, our manager manages them as well, and we hate them. No, I'm kidding. No. They're a new band, and they have a lot of potential, and we really wanted to give them a good opportunity by, you know, bringing them on a small but probably like really kind of a crowd that's really diehard, I guess. Yeah, we wanted to expose them to a crowd of very diehard fans that are kind of willing to accept a great new band like they are.
Do you plan on adding a New York City date? Is that in the works, or?
Here's the problem. A
what's the problem?
lot of people are mad at us because the tour isn't hitting up their towns, and reason being is there's a clause out there in the world that exists called the Radius Clause, and the way that works is if you are obligated to play major cities on another tour, you're not allowed to do it again, like months prior. So we were doing a tour in March with Yellow Card, which is all major markets and you know, big cities, which will be going to New York and places like that. And basically, we're not allowed to play any of those cities for fear that it might take away from that tour. So we had to keep it small, unfortunately, on this headliner. But the next time we headline, we're gonna make sure it kicks ass, and we're gonna go to every major city. So yeah, it sucks. I'm bummed that like people are mad that they have to drive to like these whack places, but to be honest, the rooms are tiny and it's going to be really fun and really sweaty, and that's kind of the vibe we wanted to go with anyway. For the first headliner, we wanted to just be like really intimate and really packed and really crazy.
Even though there are very small venues in New York, they have like
Yeah,
15 million.
I know. I would.
There are plenty of, you know, those kinds.
It was
but
not.
it's like-
Let me say this. It wasn't our call. if we could go to New York City or any of those places, we would in a heartbeat. But for legal reasons, we're not actually allowed to, which sucks. I'm sorry.
All right, we'll take that.
It sucks. It sucks.
All right, well, thank you for taking the time out to do this interview.
Thank you for having me.
Dude.
What?
They just played Stay Awake during the Ravens game.
What?
Yeah.
Really?